What's up, and welcome to the DualSense podcast for episode 169. Nice. I am one of your co hosts, Jason, and I'm joined, as always, of course, by your other co host, who's calling himself tonight Clinton Body Count. He's also known as Travis, of course. A little bit of intrigue there that we might join the body count if we're not careful. Travis, how are
Ooh,
you tonight? What's going on?
that might be exciting.
Yeah, could be.
You put that on
It's
my
hard,
tombstone.
yeah, hard to say if William or Hillary Rodham would be coming after us, but anyway.
Yeah, I think at this point, Hillary. I don't think Bill knows where he is.
Which Lil Wayne song? I shouldn't say. I shouldn't have enunciated it. It's not Lil Wayne. Which Lil Wayne song does
Yeah,
he talk about Hillary Rodham? I don't
because he
remember.
says that Hillary Rodham,
I feel like it was on the Carter 3. Yeah,
probably.
Hillary Rodham. Yeah. Anyway.
I don't know. Is that a Millie?
Oh yeah, it might be a Millie. Wow, man, that song had a moment back in the day. Do you remember that?
Yeah, it did. It still hits.
Yeah, sure does. But not like "Damn" by Youngbloods, because I'm gonna tell you one thing. I don't know when the bass line drops on a Millie by Wayne. So, what was for dinner?
Pizza. My parents brought pizza over.
Good. Was it good pizza?
They brought over the Godfathers.
I've never had that, but I know you're high on that. Pretty
I
good?
mean, high is relative.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's every pizza is decent, right?
Mhm,
You know what I mean?
mhm.
It's like pizza has a low ceiling. I mean,
Yeah, it's
sorry, pizza has
fair.
a low floor, a
Yeah,
high
yeah.
floor.
Yeah, I'm
Whatever.
with you.
It's hard to be bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it has a high floor, low ceiling.
There you go. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But anyway, it's all right. I mean, it's okay. Like, whatever.
So, was it better than, say, Pizza Slut?
It's the same to me.
Yeah, yeah. You know, people hate on Pizza Slut, and myself
Rightfully
included.
so.
Yeah, rightfully so. Here's the thing about
It's by the way, it's lollipop.
oh, it was a lollipop. Thank you. Thank you. I needed to know. I'm glad we cleared that up. But here's the thing about Pizza Hut. The regular, like if you go to let me just let's set the record straight. If you go to Pizza Hut and you get the regular pan crust, or not the pan, hand tossed crust or thin crust or whatever from Pizza Hut, you're a psychopath. The only good pizza at Pizza Hut is the pan crust, the thick crust pizza. That is superior. It's superior because
I have a theory.
if you remember the little personal pan pizzas you'd get as a kid growing up for like
Yeah.
reading a
For
library
reading.
book and
Yeah.
shit? Yeah. And they're wonderful. They're wonderful. The cheese is great there. Don't get me wrong. So like there is something at Pizza Hut worth going for. But anyway, what's your theory?
My theory is that those personal pans are made in the same pans, so they're like cast iron skillets. So they have a baked in flavor and
Yeah,
a seasoning. That's why that's good. If you got a new
100%.
pan, it would suck.
100%. Because that's the best part is the edging. Like you said, it's got that seasoning, that cast
Mhm.
iron,
Mhm.
like char to it. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. Makes me want to order Pizza Hut right now. A pan, some pepperoni on it, maybe some sausage.
Why don't we just do a fast food podcast and we review a restaurant a week?
If this one doesn't work out for us, maybe we will.
I mean, that'd be fun because we could, like, seriously, you could spend 30 minutes on the personal pan pizza.
We could really dive into its intricacies.
Mhm. Mhm.
Speaking of fast food, I've ate at Slim Chickens 4 times this week, and I'm not embarrassed about that.
Why have you done that?
I love it.
Have you got the same thing every time?
No, of course
Okay.
not.
All right. Okay.
I've had chicken tenders. Oh well, hang on. So maybe it was 3 times.
Jesus Christ! So
I've
you ate the
had
same thing 3 times?
no. I had chicken tenders twice, and I've had the salad the third time, which is fire. By the way, I might like it better than just the regular.
What about the
You
fourth
know,
time?
I was only 3. I'm sorry, I miscounted. I was contemplating a 4th time tonight to go for the buffalo chicken wrap, which sounds awesome too.
Yeah, we can do that this week.
I think the reason why I think it's so good is because it reminds me of a place you and I used to eat at college.
Yeah,
You know, it's just hitting like the primal whatever things in my brain that was like,
like
oh
a
yeah, it's
personal
that,
pan pizza.
like a
from
personal pan pizza. Exactly, same thing. It's nostalgia. Anyway,
We hired a new guy at work. In his past career, he was a captain in Army intelligence, and
oh wow,
we found a bunch of papers that a lady we fired had written. Like she'd filled up 3 legal pad notebooks of like industry classes you can take, so you get
uh-huh.
certifications, and she'd filled them up. Like basically, she wrote down the entire class in the notebook, like detailed.
Jesus Christ.
And he was
Yeah.
like, he saw that, and he said, who the fuck does that? And I told him who did it, and he was like, he was reading it, and he's like, she's a psychopath. I was like, what do you mean? He's like,
Mhm.
she wrote in all caps. If you look at how her A's and S's are, the way they trail off, and I'm like, you're fucking crazy. What are you talking about?
I love that so much. He's
I
not
don't,
wrong, by the way.
I don't. Yeah, so I couldn't tell if he's joking or not, and I don't know him well enough to like really press it. So I was just like, okay,
No. No, he wasn't playing. He was serious.
that
Also,
was
I
good.
love that y'all got the fucking Navajo code breakers over here psychoanalyzing your
Right.
employees.
Oh yeah, he was talking to one of my leads on Wednesday, and she said something. And he's like, "I can tell you're upset. You're trying to mask it." And I think I responded by saying, "This fucking guy."
Jesus Christ. I mean,
Yeah,
you bring a guy like that into a place like that, like,
oh, it's
eh,
wild.
I mean, yeah, it's like it's with water, it's oil and water.
I
That's
can't
fucking
wait. It's
crazy.
gonna be amazing.
Yeah, that is. Anyway, Travis, we're having one of those episodes again where we talk about nothing for like 10 minutes straight, but
Fucking work for Seinfeld. He's a millionaire.
true. It literally says on Netflix a show about nothing. Like, you know how that has like the 3 tags, like
It
almost like
is.
YouTube does? It's like whatever. It says like irreverent, funny, a show about nothing. I'm like, what the fuck? So anyway, Travis, let's get into the show here. Let's first introduce ourselves. We are a weekly podcast where you and I get together and discuss all things PlayStation, like news, rumors, new game releases, and much more. We do it all in under 90 minutes and post new episodes every Monday on all of the usual podcast services around the world, as well as YouTube, if you prefer to listen there. We also share gameplay videos and clips on YouTube. I've recently posted some Insurgency and also some Police Simulator Patrol Officer, the latest update and DLC, if you're interested in that.
That taser has about 100 yards of range.
Oh, it does. It does. I love, I love using it though, because the guy, he's like, stop, police. And like they hardly ever stop. You just hit
Right.
them with it and they just fall down. Anyway.
Yeah.
Also, we'd love to chat with you on social media. Please find us there. We go by at the DualSense Pod on most apps, including X or Twitter, whichever you prefer to call it. It's always Twitter in my heart. But we're also on Instagram, Facebook, Threads, and our website is called the DualSense Podcast.wordpress.com. We shared last week that Travis had performed his first video game review. I say that like he performed an exorcism.
Why'd you say it like that?
I don't know. I thought that'd be fun. But Travis performed his first video game exorcism and reviewed it. And it's
I like
on
that
there.
better.
Yeah, if you want to review or Jesus, if you want to read that of a
Yeah,
game
review
called
my review, please.
yes, please do that. Anyway, we got to get into this shit. We're falling apart here. So let's, without any further ado, let's jump into the week of news here. Pretty busy week here. A lot of things happening on the business side of Sony here. Beginning with number one, major staff shakeups appear to be ongoing at Sony Interactive Entertainment, as both layoffs and the departure of a senior executive were reported this week. Beginning with the layoffs, PlayStation's Visual Arts Services Group was the victim of staff reductions this week, with senior level designer Daniel Bellamere posting on social media that he was part of a wave of layoffs at the San Diego based studio. Known primarily as a support studio for PlayStation's biggest games, it had been rumored in recent months that Visual Arts Services Group was working on a game of their own, potentially an Uncharted reboot. Elsewhere, Dream's team, Media Molecule, has laid off around 20 of its 135 employees, according to Sports Illustrated, of all places, Travis. I don't know what the fuck that's about. The layoffs follow news that Media Molecule was ending support for its Dreams creation engine and the previous departure of several of its senior leaders following that announcement earlier this year. Finally, and most importantly, longtime PlayStation production executive Connie Booth is no longer at the company, according to God of War and Twisted Metal creator David Jaffe, who worked alongside Booth during his tenure developing two of PlayStation's most iconic IP. The news was officially confirmed by Sony later in the week, with the company telling Axios in part, quote, "We're thankful for Connie's numerous contributions to the company and wish her the best in future endeavors," end quote. Booth's departure is a massive one, herself having been involved in the production of more than 100 games, beginning as a senior producer on the original Crash Bandicoot game. Over the years, Booth has risen to become PlayStation's head of internal production, playing a pivotal role in developing and nurturing most of PlayStation's most well-known franchises, including Spyro, Siphon Filter, Ratchet and Clank, SOCOM, Uncharted, Jack and Daxter, Infamous, Resistance, Sly Cooper, The Last of Us, Spider-Man, Death Stranding, and Ghost of Tsushima. So just a few games. Booth is also a member of the Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences Hall of Fame as of 2020. The biggest variable now is whether Booth left of her own volition or was fired, but either way, it is a gaping hole for PlayStation to fill, and one that apparently will be plugged by Angie Smets, the former head of Killzone and Horizon developer Guerrilla Games, according to Jaffe. Smets has been serving as the head of development strategy at PlayStation Studios since April of 2023. Okay, so what do you make of the layoffs at the studios or the departure of one Connie Booth?
I just thought of a really cool video. It's a guy yelling layoffs, but he's dressed like the Colts coach yelling playoffs. And he's just
that's a good idea.
completely in denial that it's happening
Layoffs.
at his company. You know, it's like a staff meeting. He's like, layoffs? Anyway,
Layoffs. We can't even make a game.
again, like we talked for what are we on, like, episode 20 of layoffs? So I assume this
Yeah,
will keep
for real.
happening. And I can confirm, even in the industry I work in, that sales are down very much, and to the point that like it's very noticeable. Like very
Bro.
fucking noticeable. And I'm not sure why. It's very, very unsettling. But anyway, so I
Yeah.
would assume the layoffs will continue. The media molecule news, I'm not surprised by. Like I know that they laid off 20 more, they lost a bunch of senior level staff, but when they pulled support for the game, like I kind of expected something to change there massively. So I'm
Mm.
not sure what comes of them. The fact that they've lost a lot of senior leadership. Now they've lost 10% of their staff, give or take.
Mhm.
I don't know. Does it look good for them? Are they going to make it through it? Is my question. What do they become? Are they going to get absorbed into something else and be renamed? Like, I don't know. It's weird
Mm.
to me. Because even as a quote unquote filthy casual, I knew what Media Molecule was. So it's kind of,
Right.
I don't know. It's I don't like it, but I get it. I get it. It's not unexpected. I just don't like it.
Yeah. I think they have one more chance.
As far as Connie goes, she's the most successful Connie I've ever heard of. Most
Yeah.
Connies don't make it, so more power to her.
Yeah.
The whole time you were going through this, I was wondering, did she leave or did she get fired? So we don't know
Mhm.
that. And
Mhm.
the whole thing on this first story that's very interesting to me is, one, we got Sports Illustrated sending us news, and then why is Jaffe reporting this? It's odd to me.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, he's obviously still connected, to PlayStation. He was there for a long time, but definitely an odd source of news of this magnitude.
But I mean, like you said though, I mean she's tied. Look, she's tied to every IP we know of, like
Oh yeah.
legitimately in some way. Even like she's the OG Crash Bandicoot. Like
Yeah.
she's there, doing the damn thing. So it kind
Mhm.
of makes me feel like maybe she just retired.
Yeah.
She's been there fucking 30 years, 25 years, something wild like that. So that does make more sense to me. But yeah, I mean it's a hard shoe to fill, and I'm just not a big fan of guerrilla games. So I don't like throwing in this person. I don't like throwing in Smets.
Mhm.
It's not,
Mhm.
those games aren't for me anyway. So what do I know? But that being said, neither was Ratchet and Clank and Jack and Dexter and Infamous and Sly Cooper.
Right.
so so what the
Right.
fuck do I know? But yeah, the media molecule stuff, not surprising. This person I never heard of leaving. It's interesting. I never heard of her before, but she did everything, right? So it,
Yeah.
it makes you a little bit uncomfortable with some of the other losses that they've had
Yeah.
in the last few months.
Yeah. First off, the layoffs not terribly surprising. Especially like you said, at Media Molecule, considering what's gone on there in the last 12 months or so. I think they are definitely on the ropes in a way as a studio. We've talked on the show before about how there's a little bit of a sense that they can't be closed at the moment because they are they have the person who they have a person there who they've won a BAFTA or whatever. They have like their executive has like won a BAFTA, and they have they're a big swinging dick in the United Kingdom. In other words, that's what I'm trying to say. And that's obviously a
Well,
huge
yeah, but
market.
Connie's in the fucking Hall of Fame.
True. I mean, that's a great point. That's a great point. Connie's in the Hall of Fame. So if she did get fired, then that clearly sends a message that, no one is safe. Hard to imagine that she was fired, but Jaffe was insinuating that she had been, and that her that her team, the people working under her, had been escorted out of the building and out there in California, the headquarters for PlayStation. I don't know. Jaffe, here's the thing about Jaffe that everyone has to understand. Obviously, he is well connected at PlayStation. He's a really smart guy. He has a lot of good insight that he brings to the table, but he's also a wind-up merchant. He deals in hyperbole. So you do have to take a little bit of what he says with a grain of salt, in my opinion. He's also not a proper journalist. Not saying that we are, but he in terms of like vetting sources and things like that, and that's not his strong suit per se. Still, you would think that there's definitely, obviously, something to this because he first reported it, and then Sony later confirmed it that indeed she was not there anymore. So that there's at least that part of it confirmed. The interesting part about the layoffs, backing up for a moment, is that I'm surprised that Visual Arts is affected by layoffs, considering the rumor that they were working on an Uncharted, the next Uncharted game. And, it could be as simple as, maybe just a few people. We don't really have any numbers about them, and that's more rumor than anything, because Media Molecule actually did confirm that their layoffs did happen too. So, the two of these three things have been confirmed. But moving on to Connie, like you said, you can see the list there. She literally has been involved with every major PlayStation franchise ever, because she's been there since the 90s, and obviously since before, I think, the original PlayStation launched even. She was kind of like Jim Ryan in that way, who's been around, who had been around for forever. I had heard of Connie. I had heard her name from Jaffe, and then from Colin Moriarty, just listening to his show. She's someone who is, a big swinging dick behind the scenes, in terms of obviously getting games green lit, getting games to market, so to speak. Seems like a pretty big loss. There were more rumors, according to Jaffe, that she was out of there because of the whole push into games as a service, live service games, and all that type of deal. So, it's hard to say. We may never know if she left on her own or was fired, or the reasons for her leaving, or maybe it actually was just her retiring. So I think all things are possible. I don't really have an opinion on Angie Smets taking over that position, if that is true. I don't know. It would have to be someone in theory from Gorilla or Naughty Dog. But, with that said, the PlayStation, if you pulled someone from a PlayStation studio, the studio who's been the most productive over the last handful of years is by far Insomniac. I mean, Insomniac's put out like what, 3 or 4 games in the last 3 or 4 years. So if you're talking about production pipeline, those are the guys who have it fucking figured out. But anyway, I digress. So, yep, Connie Booth out after 30 something years with the company, and we'll see who officially takes her spot and how her departure affects the video game pipeline at PlayStation. Number 2, the business side of PlayStation was highly active this week, as I mentioned, and not only due to Connie Booth's departure, but also thanks to a new interview that Sony Interactive Entertainment Senior Vice President and Head of Global Marketing Eric Lempel gave to publication Barron's. In it, Lempel says that the company is expecting one of its strongest holiday seasons ever from a financial standpoint, considering it is the first holiday shopping season with PS5s readily available at retailers. He told the publication, quote, "Our outlook on PS5 is really strong. We're expecting one of the strongest seasons in our history in terms of console sales. It's a combination of the great product we have and the titles that we've released since launch, as well as most recently with Marvel's Spider-Man 2, end quote. Surprisingly, Lempel also discussed PlayStation VR 2 and its importance to Sony, saying it has yet to reach its true potential. He said, quote, "The VR category is important to us. It's a category that can help us with innovation. It's never going to be the only way people play games, but I'm happy that we're in it. There are great experiences to be had, and consumers really like it, but it's a nascent business for us," end quote. Later in the interview, Lempel discussed PlayStation Plus and its recent price increases, which he said are in response to market conditions, saying, quote, "We want to make PlayStation Plus great, ellipsis. like practically everything else in the world, we have to look at our pricing and we have to adjust to market conditions. I'm happy to say, unlike a lot of other subscription services out there, we haven't touched PlayStation Plus pricing for 85% of the world in many years. So this was the first time we did something there. End quote. Amazingly, Lempel says that the new tier system has precipitated growth as well, saying, quote, since we introduced the tiers, we've seen a third of the PlayStation Plus user base opt for the upper two tiers, which was more than we had expected. End quote. So, what do you think about this little snapshot into the financial side of PlayStation?
Yeah, I mean, as you know, where we talked last week about the FIFA numbers, like, oh, it's nice that it's just 1 million higher than the other one.
Yeah.
Like when he says a third, we didn't expect a third of the users to jump. It's like, okay,
Mhm.
you didn't expect a third of the users. What's the actual number?
Right.
Like a third of
Right.
what? Like you can manipulate that. So immediately, I'm thinking marketing bullshit. Whatever,
Yeah.
dude.
He is a marketing bro.
Yeah, I mean that he is right about the outlook on the PS5 for the holiday
Mhm.
season. Like they have to expect it to do really well.
Sure.
The new model, they're everywhere now. The Spider-Man, they have a Spider-Man edition, Spider-Man 2. It's a whole thing, right? So
Mhm.
I would assume we'll see some pretty wild numbers when we
I
get
think so.
those reports in January for December. And I think you could earmark this quote and just carbon copy it for next year too, because
Mm.
presumably we'll have the PS5 Pro, Wolverine scheduled to come out at some point next year. They'll figure out there's something else that's going to come out next year that I'm forgetting about right now. So they'll be able to market and combo that with a few really new and nice IPs. I think. So I think you could just rinse and repeat for that. I was surprised about what he said about VR because he almost
Yeah.
made it sound like we know it's not going to make a lot of money, but it gives us a lot of chance to try stuff and to play with technology and just to see what we can do, kind of, and almost like it's an arena of play for them, which I think a lot of businesses don't do, but I think it's important.
Mhm.
It doesn't have to make $100 billion. Like it could be its own little niche thing, and they can let studios try new things. It can, you know what I mean? Like it could let
Right.
new technologies come that they could inhabit into somehow into the PlayStation 6 or in the future or so on. I think that's interesting, but I think at what point calling VR a nascent industry is odd to me. It's kind of like Dippin' Dots saying they're the ice cream of the future for a decade.
Mm.
It's been
Yeah.
around for a long time. At some point, it's
Mm.
not nascent anymore. At some point, it's just a niche market, and it is
Yeah.
what it is.
It's a fair point.
I think it's a niche market. I don't think it's
Mm.
not going to take over like people think. I don't think it'll ever be that.
Mhm.
For whatever reason, I just don't see it.
It's a tough sell. It's far easier to just grab a controller and sit down on your couch.
Yeah, and it's the same thing. Even like having a sim rig, it's like it's a lot of effort sometimes just to like, I have to set it up. It's fucking irritating sometimes,
Yeah.
even though it's practically set up and all I'm doing is moving like three chords. But you get
Mhm.
the point. But anyway, yeah, the only other thing that stuck out to me was when he said we haven't touched the PS Plus price for 85% of the world yet for many
Mhm.
years. It's like so that means you have to touch it. Like
Right.
the
Yeah.
Coca-Cola, remember we tried this with Pepsi Clear and New Coke because they hadn't
Yeah.
touched it in 100 years. Like, come on, it doesn't mean you need to change something just because you're bored.
Just an itch that they've got to scratch.
Right. But if what he's saying is true and those numbers are accurate and they actually mean something, that it's gotten a 30 users to jump up a tier or two, like that's pretty unbelievable. And it doesn't really make sense to me how that would occur. Like it's not a logical
Mhm.
connection there for me.
Sure. But you jump tiers, yes or no?
It's not important what I did. It's
I'm just saying you're one of the 33% there that jumped. So you're
yeah, but
you're part of the data there.
I do irrational stuff, so it's fine.
Yeah. I mean, I did too. Don't get me wrong. I went from
Yeah.
plus to premium or
But
whatever, essential
but
to
my thinking
premium.
was like it's $15 more and I get all these free games. Fuck it.
Oh yeah, it's
Because
worth
I'm
it. I mean,
already paying this, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
if it would have been a blank slate, I don't think I would have done it. I think I still would have went the very base.
Mhm. Mhm.
But
Extra.
it's easier to talk myself into the extra whatever it was than it is the whole amount.
Oh yeah, no, extra is as we've talked about, extra is by far the highest, the best value proposition is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
So,
and it was cheaper than just buying Sniper Elite.
oh, see, there you go, there you go. That's all it takes. Anyway, here or I guess a couple things about Eric, Mr. Lempel's comments here. PS5 definitely going to have a huge year. like you said, they've got the Spider-Man bundle coming. They got the Modern Warfare bundle, Spider-Man 2 itself. We're going to talk about that again here in a moment. Is going to be huge. Going to definitely move some consoles, and going to be ridiculous to see the numbers early next year of what this quarter has looked like for PlayStation. In terms of VR, I am also surprised that he talked about it, but the fact that he did is promising as a PSVR 2 owner. I do. It was a little bit of marketing speak in terms of him talking about consumers really like it, but it's also true in the sense that people who do own a PSVR 2, especially the hardcore players, which is pretty much everyone who owns a PSVR 2. I don't think there are any casual players who own PSVR 2, but we do love it. It is a great little machine, and despite what the mainstream media, quote unquote, I'm being facetious there, but despite what people say online about there are no games, while there are very little games from PlayStation Studios proper, there are a shit ton of games on this thing, and there's more coming out every week, and there's plenty to play. So it is a great little VR rig, and people generally speaking are very happy with it, myself included. So he is right about that, and I guess that's one thing to be said about it, is the people who own it love it. So, and then finally about PlayStation Plus, pretty impressive that they have gotten that conversion, that 1/3. Obviously, you and I are a part of that third. So I would be interested to know, if they didn't think it was going to do that well, what did they think? And if they thought it was going to do much worse than that, then why do that at all? So I don't know. Just one of those business decisions, I guess. But the other final kind of closing thought about this is reading this guy's interview. This is, in my opinion, this is the guy who replaces Jim Ryan next year. Like this, just his quotes just read and sound like the CEO of PlayStation to me. Also, he's a marketing bro, and Jim was a marketing bro. So I think this might be the new Jim Ryan next year when Jim leaves.
Yeah, that's fair. When you were talking about him, talking about the VR, you sounded like a girl. It's like, did he talk about me at the dance? Like, he brought us up. It was great.
Oh, I mean, we're hanging on. We're hanging in there like a hair in a biscuit. All right. Number 3, Travis, we have a bunch of news nuggets as well. Feel free to jump in here. First nugget. Swedish developer Embark Studios announced and is currently hosting the first cross-play open beta test for the highly anticipated competitive first-person shooter The Finals from now until November the 5th on PS5. It's a really long open beta, and I've played it last night, and that game is wild. I'll have some more to say about it later. Also, highly anticipated zombie slaying first-person shooter sequel Arizona Sunshine 2 is launching for PSVR 2 on December the 7th. Speaking of games, that game looks fucking dope, man. It looks wild. That looks good. Excited. Website Video Games Chronicle reported that the new PS5 Slim console bundles for Modern Warfare 3 and Spider-Man 2 are already out in the wild, which has brought to light the fact that the PS5 will require an internet connection to pair the optional UHD disk drive to the console for the first time, if you're buying it a la carte and installing it separately, that is. The news pissed off some internet dwellers this week who, strangely, are upset about needing an internet connection for an all-digital console. To be fair to Sony, the requirement is likely a security measure to ensure that the drive is an official component and not something that someone made in their basement or sold by Mad Cats or whatever the hell. So
You hear that, John?
yeah, John didn't like that, did he?
Yeah, he said, what did he say? He said, that's a major bruh.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah, he didn't like that you had to connect it to the internet. I get it. Now, I mean, I get it in 2023, the year of our Lord. Why that's a thing. But PlayStation doesn't. The thing people have to understand, PlayStation just doesn't fuck around with like security stuff anymore after the whole PSN network hack. And the fact that the Vita was, going back up, the memory cards on the Vita are a big reason why, or a big, I guess, result of that or consequence of that. They had those proprietary memory cards because they were so scared to death that people were going to be able to put whatever in those things and hack Vitas and have an access point, a vector into the network. And they probably feel the same way about these optional disk drives for the PS5. So
Yeah, I know that.
no doubt.
I just know that hack ruined our Uncharted online play. It was really annoying.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that. Was that Uncharted 2 or
Yeah, I
3?
think so. I don't remember. It was like, I don't know. I just remember being really pissed off about it.
Yeah, it killed the last SOCOM game too.
Yeah.
RIP. It killed the entire franchise. So there's that. So that's a fucking joke. So please get it right. All right, next nugget here. Developer Night Dive Studio will release its remaster of first-person shooter Star Wars Dark Forces on February 28th for consoles and PC. It will support up to 4K resolution and 120 frames per second, depending on the platform. PlayStation and Insomniac Games announced that Spider-Man 2 has sold 2.5 million copies on its launch day, making it PlayStation's fastest-selling first-party game ever. Though it's not all sunshine and rainbows, as some users who bought physical versions have been reporting that the game is failing to install on their PS5, all the more reason to get a digital PS5. And the studio accidentally included the Cuban flag in Miles Morales' apartment rather than the Puerto Rican flag. Puerto Rico. So they are similar, but they're definitely not the same flag. So I don't know how that happened. But
it's easy to do if you're not smart. Can we talk about how the movement on Spider-Man 2 is asininely fast? It's just, why is it so fast?
Oh, it's ridiculous. It's awesome. I mean,
was watching it on Reddit.
Awesome.
I was like, holy shit. Like, it's going to make me motion sick.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's very cool. I'll have some more to say about that later as well. Also, potential art for Assassin's Creed Red was posted on the LinkedIn profile of one of the game's writers, Pierre Boudreau, this week, and what is certainly the first look at what the game's female samurai protagonist will look like. So it looked like some official art to me. She looked cool. Also, Hideo Kojima was not credited at all in the new credits for Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1, despite the man creating and producing all 3 titles in the anthology. Just some petty bullshit by Konami, who apparently really melded in with the whole fucking thing. So
Well,
it's not very good.
He didn't make the remake, bro.
What? There's none of them are remade. It's all the original games. They just ported them.
He didn't make the port, bro.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I'm just trying to think like Konami, man.
Yeah, fuck Konami. Fuck them. Also, speaking of Metal Gear Solid, references have already been discovered for Metal Gear Solid 4, 5, and Peace Walker in the files of that first collection. So that'll be your Volume 2 if they don't fuck it up. And in one final piece of Metal Gear Solid news, Konami showed off the first in-engine Unreal 5 footage of the Metal Gear Solid 3 remake this week. And it looks good, but it looks sterile. It looks like, I don't know what I'm trying to say. It looks like it doesn't have any soul. Yeah, like it, I don't know. It looks like if me and you did the remake and we were just like dragging and dropping shit from Unreal Engine. It's like, oh yeah, fucking tree. Here's a tree. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's weird, man.
It looks like they took Konami. It looks like they took what's his name? What's the guy's
Kojima?
name? Yeah.
Also, Devolver Digital released PS5 versions of Hotline Miami 1 and 2 this week, with free upgrades for existing owners of the game, as well as new trophy lists. Amazon's Fallout television series will premiere on April the 12th, the company announced this week. Interested in that. Artisan Studios, the company behind RPG Astria Ascending and Super Neptunia, has accepted funding from the Saudi Ministry of Investment to open a new studio in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, to develop the first AAA video game made in the Gulf region. Massive fart noise, and I'm sure this will be the first of many.
It's called Oil Simulator.
Oh, got that. Oh. Sorry, Chappelle Show reference. Also, Sony has begun denoting which games are streamable with PlayStation Plus Premium with a new logo on the PS5 console user interface. The streaming capability is arriving on North American soil on October the 30th, I should say, for PS5. And I think it went live for Europe this week, if I recall. So hope you guys are fucking enjoying it. The name of Diablo 4's first expansion may have been discovered by a data miner who claims it will be called Lord of Hatred. It will have a story based around the demon known as Mephisto. Mephisto Mayaso.
Mephisto, I hardly know her.
Cozy live sim game Disney Dreamlight Valley announced that it will leave early access on December the 5th, but in quite an interesting twist, it will no longer be a free-to-play game when it does so. The base game will retail for $39.99, and expansion passes seem to be running for $29.99. So Disney got a little proud of that game in the meantime there. Jesus Christ. Payday 3 developer Starbreeze apologized this week for the delayed first major patch for the game, as well as a lack of communication, generally speaking. The game is off to an extremely rocky start, with a higher number of people playing Payday 2 this week on Steam, despite Payday 3 being on Game Pass. So big yikes. Big yikes.
I don't know what to do with that game. I want it to work, but it's not worth investing any time while it doesn't work. So it's
Yeah,
like
wasn't
just stuck.
yeah, wasn't that the game that you guys couldn't use the zip line on and shit?
Yeah, we got stuck, couldn't use the zip line.
Yeah.
There
Yeah,
was some
yeah.
other weird shit too. Like I think he kicked me one time for like no reason. I don't know. It's just frustrating as hell. And then I think we couldn't find a game one time. Remember, we couldn't get the servers didn't work.
Oh, yeah,
Like
that's
two
what
nights in a row.
yeah, that's what kicked us off there, pushed us away. Next nugget here, Respawn is finally bringing cross progression to Apex Legends with the launch of Season 19. I think it's this coming week that's happening. Remedy Entertainment detailed Alan Wake 2's expansions and post-launch content this week. The expansions sound like robust new story threads and will be included in the deluxe edition of the game, but can also be purchased a la carte. The game will also get a new Game Plus mode and a new Nightmare difficulty that will include a new alternative narrative. That's interesting. Epic increased the prices of Fortnite's V-Bucks this week in the US and most of Europe, just as a PSA reminder there.
What does the V stand for?
I have no idea. Really have no idea. What's a Victory Bucks?
Oh,
freedom. It's like Freedom Fries, but Victory Bucks.
those are to go with Virgin.
Oh yeah, good. Yeah, that's that's definitely better. Also, the Batsuit from Robert Pattinson's The Batman was added and quickly removed from Batman Arkham Knight this week, oddly, indicating that perhaps it went live too early for the 8-year-old game, which is supposedly coming to Switch in the near future. So
That's
maybe
weird.
that's why. Yeah, very
God.
odd. When are they going to just we just need an update. We need a current engine upgrade for that, guys. Let's fucking go. Also, Ubisoft's financial report for the first half of the fiscal year revealed that the French publisher has delayed a quote-unquote large game that it was originally planning to release by the end of March. That game is believed to be Star Wars Outlaws. We also learned that Skull and Bones has been quietly delayed, Travis, to the fourth quarter, meaning sometime between January and March of 24.
Never get it.
No. Just keep pushing it back a quarter at a time, and they can tell the Singapore folks to just, give us a break. Don't break our legs yet.
Yeah. At some point, they're going to tell them to suck their boner.
Website Push Square reported that a new PS5 firmware dropped this week, which improved the music controls in the control center, fixed an issue where users were inadvertently broadcasting their surroundings when using PSVR 2, and a new
awesome.
and a new "What's New" voice command that will show you new PS5 features.
I'm never using that.
No, I forget that it even has voice commands, to be quite honest. So
I didn't know I had music controls.
Oh yeah, you can connect Spotify and Apple Music to it, and you can you can play it through your headset or through your TV or whatever, just directly from your PS5. So you don't have to, have your phone sitting next to you while you listen to podcasts or whatever. Also, Spider-Man 2 has garnered an impressive main story completion rate of nearly 30%, according to trophy data, with over 6% of players getting the Platinum trophy. So people playing it and sticking with it and digging it, apparently.
I thought that meant it was too easy.
I mean, that is
6%. That's a lot.
Yeah, that can be that too. It's definitely one of the easier games to platinum for sure. It's just collecting stuff and things like that. So PlayStation's been getting let me back up. Insomniac, generally speaking, is known for their easy trophy lists, which is perfectly fine. Also, Bus Simulator 21's Tram expansion will release on November the 14th for PS4 and PS5. Players who own the base game and Tram DLC will also get access to a standalone game called Tram Simulator Urban Transit when it releases next year, which is very odd. I don't think I've ever heard of anything like that where you own a base game and a DLC for a game and you get a whole new game. Thought that was interesting.
I wonder if it was just like they had extended DLC, but maybe that DLC didn't sell well. So we'll just call it a game. Here you go.
Could be. Very well could be. Also, co-op horror first-person shooter Rip Out is coming to PS5 at an unannounced point in the future.
I think we
PlayStation
should play it. Don't know what it is. That sounds like we should play it.
it doesn't look bad. I'll send you a thing. It's here in a moment. It doesn't look bad. I thought it looked kind of neat actually. Website PlayStation Lifestyle reported that details of a Far Cry multiplayer game leaked this week. The new project will seemingly be an extraction shooter where players will search for resources to survive and bring those resources back to their hideout where they can share loot in a safe space with other players. The project is being developed by Ubisoft Montreal and is targeting a release window of April 2025, according to Insider Gaming. And Far Cry 7 will release sometime after that game. So, a couple of Far Cry games in development. Horror game Layers of Fear has released its final free DLC called The Final Prologue. Website PlayStation Universe reported that the following games received update patches this week: Remnant 2, Cyberpunk 2077, Lords of the Fallen, Spider-Man 2, Hitman 3, Aliens Dark Descent, Aliens Fireteam Elite, World War Z, Amnesia the Bunker, The Crew Motorfest, Mortal Kombat 1, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and EA Sports PGA Tour. So if you've been waiting for some new content or fixes, check those out.
Did you see the Hitman 3, the new skin you can get?
No, I did see where they added a new target and some other stuff. What's the new skin?
It's like the very first Hitman. It's like the pixelated characters. And it's all
no
janky.
way.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That
It's
is
so good.
awesome. Yeah.
It's so good.
That intrigues me. Also, Mortal Kombat 1's Omni-Man DLC from the Invincible series. Release date leaked, and it's coming on November the 6th. Very soon. UK retailer Cool Shop, I bet, leaked that Cyberpunk 2077's physical release on PS5 is dropping on November the 30th. Website Gamatsu reported that Square Enix announced a new Final Fantasy XIV online expansion called Dawn Trail this week, which will add a new job called Viper and feature a crossover alliance raid with Final Fantasy XVI, among other new additions. Soulsborne action RPG Lords of the Fallen has sold over 1 million copies in its first 10 days on the market. Retro survival horror game Crow Country was announced for PS4 and PS5, and it's launching sometime in 2024. Publisher Merge Games announced open world adventure game sequel Spirit of the North 2, PS5, but no release date was given. The North still wins in the sequel, by the way. Frictional Games has released a free Halloween update for survival horror game Amnesia the Bunker, which added a shell shock difficulty mode and a new custom mode, gameplay mode, whatever that means. Fighting game Grand Blue Fantasy Versus Rising will hold a second open beta test from November the 9th through November the 12th on PS4 and PS5. A free demo for third-person mech shooter Custom Mech Wars is available now on PS5.
I'm not into these mech things. Technically, Transformers can be mechs, right?
Yeah, I would say so. I would consider
I don't know. I don't like Transformers either, so maybe that's just a thing I don't like.
Right. Very well could be. You know, they're having a moment, these mech games, no doubt about that. Also, publisher Cubite Interactive announced that Top Racer Collection will launch for PS4 and PS5 on January the 11th. The Visco Collection of classic arcade games is available now on PS4 and PS5. Life simulation game BIM Phyto will launch for PS4 and PS5 on November the 9th. 3D platformer Raku Venture will launch for PS4 and PS5 on December the 14th. Sci-fi Metroidvania game Mars 2120 will launch for PS4 and PS5 on March 28th. A new Back to the Future DLC pack is coming to Power Wash Simulator on November the 16th for $7.99. Hardcore 2D action RPG Blasphemous 2 is finally making its way to PS4 on November the 2nd. Turn-based RPG Born of Bread will launch for PS5 on December the 5th after being delayed not too long ago. Berserk Recharged, a reimagining of the 1980 original, will launch for PS4 and PS5 on November the 9th. And finally, Travis, developer Studio Wildcard showed off Unreal Engine 5 footage of Ark Survival Ascended this week. It is releasing for PS5 sometime in November after Shadow dropping on PC this week, and it is the remaster of Ark Survival Evolved. It looks pretty awesome, to be quite honest with you, but it came out on PC this week, and it has like a 40% on Steam because apparently it's Apparently, it plays like really badly. Like the performance is terrible. The frame rate's all over the place. So
Other dinosaurs?
yes, it's
Mm,
dinosaurs. You hunt dinosaurs. You tame dinosaurs. You build camps and shit.
okay.
I'm gonna check it out. I think
So like Jurassic Park?
like Jurassic Park in a way. Yeah, in a way. I'll send you the trailer for that too while you talk about this week's new games. I'm going to kick it over to you for. That's all for the news this week. Take it away.
The 23rd, we have Light Dark. On the 24th, we have Archetype Arcadia, Cry Machina, or Machina. I don't know. It's a game.
Machina.
There you go. Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1, originally made by Hideo Kojima.
Thank you for giving him his credit.
We have Pickleball Smash, which we should have seen that coming. This would be a game.
Yep.
I wonder if your character's just deathly old. I really hope so.
You could probably make one.
Yeah.
They all look like Wii characters, like the Wii avatars or whatever the fuck.
You know, that's exactly what I pictured.
Yep.
It's not surprising. The 25th, we have Postal Brain Damage, Stray Souls, and Swap Shot. On the 26th, we have Arcade Archives, Burning Force, Dinosaurs, Mission Dino Camp, Frog Detective, The Entire Mystery, which is good. Then we have Ghostbusters, Rise of the Ghost Lord, and then we have Ghostbusters 2. Why would you release two Ghosts? That says Ghost Runner. Ghost Runner 2, Journey to the Foundation, Miniko's Night Market, Sudama Retaliation. No, Sudama Relation. I'm struggling. Visco Collection,
Sounds sexual.
World of Horror. And on the 27th, we have. I mean, what is this? We have Akara.
Oh.
And then we have Alan Wake 2, Desoladium, DreamWorks, Trolls Remix Rescue, EA Sports UFC 5, and Star Trek Resurgence.
Yeah, busy week this week. Busy week. Here, let's see. Let's just start at the top here. You obviously have Metal Gear Solid, the Master Collection. So should be a big one. And Frog Detective, the Entire Mystery. Like you said, it's a very well regarded game on PC, now on PlayStation. Ghostbusters Rise of the Ghost Lord, I think, is actually a PSVR 2 game, but maybe you can play it out of VR. Maybe you can play it flat. I'm not sure. Journey to Foundation, also a PSVR 2 game. Alan Wake 2, definitely the biggest release of this week, I would say. I'm pretty excited about that. I haven't bought it yet. I'm going to finish Spider-Man 2 at some point, and then I'll get it later in the year, pick it up. And then EA Sports UFC 5, another big one there. So, nice week. And that's all for the new games. Let's start to wrap the show up here like we always do, Travis, by discussing what we've been playing and anything that we're looking forward to. What do you got?
Played some FC24. We got our shit pushed in the co-op season.
Certainly.
We got promoted and then immediately we're the worst team ever. I don't I don't know what happened. And then in my career mode, I signed a world class. What they call them, like a world class prospect. Finally,
Yeah.
my 3-star scout found one in England, so I brought him in, and then I got another scout in Australia who hasn't found anything. So it's been a lot of fun. And then I found another world class goalie who's 15 that I signed, but he's only 6'1". I just like having giant goalies. Like, love it. I don't like having tiny goalies. I want a big motherfucker. So
see, I like giant strikers, but
that's fair. So I think I'm just gonna sell him. And then I did sign a guy. It said he was a center mid, but he was like 6'5", 6'6", and he wasn't that fast, and his I don't know, his agility wasn't great. I'm like, he's a center back. So moved him to center back, and he went up like 8 points. So you could find players that are just in the wrong position, which is kind of interesting. Like I kind of enjoy that. I played Battlefield. Nothing crazy happened there. Just normal, good fun. And then we played a Zonzo.
Oh yeah.
Played till like 2 a.m. one night.
You did.
That's funny because I was telling you, like, I went on what felt like a rampage. I saved the video clip, and then when you watch it, it doesn't look impressive. But I was like 11-0, but it looked like nothing. It was like nothing happened.
Yeah, it's just so slow and deliberate.
Yeah, it's just so deliberate. It's great.
Yeah.
But no, I forgot who I played with. One guy's name was something Dagger, and I forgot the other guy. But first game we played, they were on our team, The second game we played, they were on the other team. His name was Dasher, and he just kept
Yeah,
fucking
I
killing me.
remember him. Yeah.
Just kept fucking killing me. It was driving me insane. Really pissing me off, to be honest. But no, it's great. I was having a blast. I unlocked the grenade, which has a delayed fuse on it, which I hate.
Oh, yeah.
It was a blast. I kept getting damage with it. I could never kill anybody. But the last map I played, I can't remember where it was, but you start off on these they're like trenches, but they're real rocky and all the shit's blown up. And then as you progress forward, there's like a valley, kind of like no man's land. There's a valley, and you go into a city at the last part, or a town, a village.
Mm-hmm.
It's just such a good like representation of what those areas are actually like, and I don't know, it's a blast.
It's a great game.
Super sad. It's if I had to rank killing digital people and its satisfaction, Battlefield 1 is still number 1 for me because I love the sniping, the noise, and the
Oh,
feel.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
then Insurgency and Asanzo are right together. Like when you kill somebody in those games, it just like it has like a weight. Like it's really nice. It's crisp. Battlefield at times feels arcadey, you know. So does Call of Duty to me. Call of Duty doesn't really feel.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're saying. I get that. What else have you been playing? Anything? Is that all?
No.
Okay. Yeah, like you said, we played some FC24. We did not have a good outing. As you said, we got our shit pushed in this time around. So, it happens. It certainly happens. We did, I think, play a little bit of Battlefield one night, but we did like Conquest. We didn't do the redacted mode. So I don't remember much about that. So it must have been just okay. I still don't have the pistol unlocked, which is pissing me off, or the new marksman rifle. So
Gonna
gonna have to
love it.
kick it in. Yeah, gonna have to kick it in high gear at some point. Luckily, this is the longest season so far they've done. It's like 16 weeks or 14 or 16 weeks or something like that. So we've got some time. We got some time.
Oh, sorry, I forgot. I bought WRC.
Oh, you did? Yeah, that's
Oh,
coming out for you on Thursday, right?
I get 3 days early access, so
Oh, look
I'm
at you
patiently
paying
waiting.
for the premium edition.
So
What do you get it on the 30th? Then you get it on Monday?
I got it. It was on 31st. It was on the sale, so I got it. It didn't charge me for the premium. Does that make sense? Like it was just one
Yeah.
price.
Really?
Yeah, it was just like the one straight price for
That's
both.
interesting.
So I just got it.
That's really interesting. Well, I sent you the thing where the pre-order on Amazon for it had dropped down to like $30. So that might have something to do with it. Anyway, what else? Oh, played some Spider-Man 2. I've played about 5 hours of it. It says I'm 30% done with the main story. Really, really good game. Cool game. If I was, of course I'm not done with it, but at the moment it's an 8.5 for me. It's more Spider-Man, but just really refined. The traversal, like you said earlier, is phenomenal. Like I don't think there's anything like it in a video game comparable. I mean, I'm not, of course, it's Spider-Man, but I'm just saying in terms of mechanically, the way it looks, the speed, the flow of it, the animation, extremely top notch. It's Insomniac at the top of their game in that regard in terms of traversal and combat. So, really enjoying it. I'll get back to it here at some point. I'm busy for a few weeks now with reviews, but I'll get back to it. I did play some Police Simulator, as I mentioned earlier, captured some gameplay and checked out the new DLC. Astragon Entertainment, the publisher, did provide a code for the new DLC truck for Gaming Nexus. So I checked that out, took that for a spin. Pretty cool. Still janky as fuck. I mean, I'm not going to lie, that game is janky as fuck. But I do love it in the strangest of ways. And then when the Hotline Miami games upgrades for PS5 dropped, I went and downloaded the first game because I own it from having it on Vita and checked that out for a little bit on PS5. And still a good game. Really good. They didn't really do any like PS5 upgrades that I can tell other than just adding a trophy list. But that's a fun game, and the soundtrack is a fucking banger. It's just awesome music on that game. So pretty cool. But just wanted to see what it was about, see if it had any upgrades, which it really doesn't. It doesn't use the DualSense or anything like that. So, and then the last thing that I've been playing is the finals, which I've been waiting for a long time from Embark, the studio comprised of a lot of former Battlefield developers. And this game is wild, man. I think it has a lot of potential. There's one big flaw in my opinion right now, which is the time to kill. It takes too long to kill someone, no matter the weapon, no matter the class. So they've definitely got to do some tuning to that, in my opinion. Everyone feels like a bullet sponge. but the fucking like movement and the destruction is crazy, and it looks really good. Movement's quick, and then there's a couple of game modes on the beta. There's just like a quick match, like a normal, like get money. So you're playing against multiple teams. So it's like it's teams of three. Depending on the mode, you're playing against 2 other teams or 3 other teams. And then there's cash deposits that rotate around the map, and you have to go get the cash and then get it to your bank. Essentially, you can steal other teams' cash. You can kill them on the way and then take their cash that's on them. You know, if you're in a building and the deposit thing is above you, I can pull out my RPG, blow a hole in the floor, and watch the thing fall down.
Nice.
You know, it's pretty wild in that regard. It has a ton of potential, but they just got to refine the gameplay, the gunplay just a little bit with that time to kill stuff. So, and then there's just some weird. The other thing, there's just some weird. I can probably just reprogram it. Maybe I'll have to look at that, but the controls are a little bit weird in terms of you have gadgets that are all tied to L1. So you hold L1 to select a gadget, but like tapping L1 really should just allow you to, like, if I have the RPG attached or selected last, I should be able to tap L1 to bring the RPG out automatically, but it's not like that. Like, you have to open up the wheel every time to select the RPG or the grenade or whatever. So there's some quality of life things they got to clean up, but really cool. So that's going on for a while. So I'm sure that we'll check that out at some point this weekend, and we can get your thoughts on it as well. But the last thing before we go, my theory on the fact that we're in open beta now for over a week for this game, you know, this is to me going to be stealth released some probably at the Game Awards in early December. I think they're pretty much ready to go here. So I think we'll get it a new trailer and all that shit and a stealth drop at the Game Awards would be my guess. Anyway, that's it for me. It's it for Travis. That's it for the show. We'll get out of here. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave us a rating or review on your podcast service, a like or comment on YouTube, and be sure to subscribe to get a new episode delivered every Monday as well. Don't forget to find us on social media. We'd love to hear from you and chat some PlayStation on X or Twitter. We go by @the DualSense Pod, but we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads as well. Our website is thedulsenspodcast.wordpress.com. You can get the shows there and show notes and our bios and photos as well. So we'll get out of here now. Thank you for listening. Have a great week, and we'll talk at you next time. Bye-bye.